I found a legendary steak sandwich restaurant in my area, and it's not even Philly. This place is known for their king steak sandwich, but they have some other goodies, so let's check that out, and that's starting right now. I'm headed to Morrette's King Steakhouse, a Schenectady institution that has been around since 1947. As legend goes, a professional wrestler with over 600 bouts under his belt, Tony Killer Morrette, opened this place after falling in love with the cheesesteak in Philadelphia. It is very close on Erie Boulevard to Mike's First Prize Hot Dogs, another historic place I checked out exactly 1 year ago. Ironically, Mike's and Morrette's have been in business for just about the same amount of time. I tried Morrette's for the first time a couple of weeks ago and just had to come back to try even more of what they're doing. I'm here at Morrette's King Steak, and we're gonna try a bunch of stuff. I cannot wait to show you what's going on here. So I just placed my order for a bunch of stuff on the menu here. We're gonna do it all right. I definitely got this king steak sandwich, and they make their own sausage in-house, and we're gonna get into that as well. But there's something on the burger menu that I really needed to try that we're just gonna check out, and I'll save that one till the very end because I don't even know what to expect. I've never had a sandwich like this before. The menu is just absolutely insane. There's so much on here, and under no pretense are we gonna make believe we're gonna finish all of this today. And really interesting, I found out that Dave Portnoy was here just yesterday. He's in the area for Saratoga. I think he filmed 11 or 12 pizza reviews for Schenectady, and this right here is like a legendary Schenectady spot. I think that's going to be on YouTube too. This place, Morrette's, is getting quite a lot of exposure lately, which I think is amazing. It's been here for a ton of years. It's just amazing that it's taken me so long to get here, and we're ordering big today because it's my birthday meal. We came a couple of weeks ago and I got some footage for YouTube Shorts, but it just can't do it justice. There's so much going on here at Morrette's. I just had to get a little bit more in depth and show you exactly what's going on behind the counter there. The first thing I knew I needed on this visit was a steak sandwich. To keep things consistent with my Philly samplings, I ordered mine with onions and provolone cheese. And as I show you the assembly here, you'll note some differences from Philly. At Morrette's, they start by grilling the roll on the flat top, and then they warm a healthy portion of pre-cooked chopped ribeye steak. The cheese goes on with a little bit of water to steam and melt the cheese. Then once there's a nice toast on the bread, the steak and cheese goes on, and a nice helping of sauteed onions goes right on top before it comes to the table. Well, let's see how it tastes. First up, we have the king steak, and it looks amazing. I'm buying myself a little bit of time because it just came off the grill, and last time it was hotter than hell. And while I wait for this to cool just a touch, supposedly Morrette's was started in 1947 by either a boxer or a wrestler, and you can see it's getting busy. You can probably hear people at the tables around me. Well, let's see how it tastes. It's massive. It's hot, but so good. Now, where this differs from Philly is that they're starting with kind of a pre-cooked steak. It's also shaved very thin, which is very good. It tastes like the same richness of beef, so I'm sure it's ribeye steak just like a Philly cheesesteak. But the way they assemble the sandwich, the cheese and the onions are more or less toppings as opposed to actually mixed in with the sandwich. So the owners of this place are really cool. The young lady who's serving the tables and the counter, Rachel, is known for making the steak sauce. We have to try it on the steak sandwich, right? I think we might have overdone it there. Get a little normal amount. So it's in the same vein as like A1 sauce, but it's not, it tastes a little more, what's the right word for this? I don't know what to say. It's definitely bolder, definitely more sweet and more vinegary. So I guess it's a bigger steak sauce than A1. Bigger. So now that we've seen the steak sandwich, let's take a look at the sausage sandwich, which they make their own sausage. I guess they have an operation either downstairs or in the back where they process their own meat, they grind their own meat for the sausage, they mix their own sausage mix as well. And then also the burgers, which they grind their own meat as well. If you only come for the steak sandwich here, you already fulfilled any kind of foodie destination for this particular spot in the heart of Schenectady. Before we move away from the steak sandwich, which comes in right around $10, I overheard chatter about the best way way to order steak there. And a staff member said the best way is the Morrette's way, with tomato sauce and mozzarella cheese. I did love it with onions and provolone, but I think I'll need to check out that classic at some point as well. Morrettes Sausage Patty comes in at $9 with fries and is assembled with sausage made in-house, extra melted deli mozzarella, peppers and onions, and gets tossed on a toasted Kaiser roll. He was making a bunch of stuff for various orders at the time, but you can see the cheese dripping here, as well as the nice toasty roll. I'm really excited to try this one. And just watching him make everything, it's just all put together so well. We're gonna be making a mess here. Had to get in there a little further to get some of that sausage. Pretty good. We're making a mess. When you get sauteed peppers like this, generally I don't like green peppers, but they do a really good job at softening them up really nicely so that they're not just like, they don't taste like grass, if that makes sense. This reminds me of like a good sausage and peppers hero. The one thing, the roll is kind of on the soft side. This is kind of the standard roll that a lot of places in the area use for like breakfast sandwiches, but I think it kind of works with all this mozzarella cheese and with the onion. Pretty good. One thing I'll say is I'm sitting as far back from the grill as possible, and it is hot in here. I can't imagine how all day he does the thing where he's cooking back there at that hot flat top. Last time we came, we sat literally right in front of it. Even that kind of 30-minute was a lot for us to just, sit there. The fact that these guys have to do that all along, it's hard work. One thing I think is really cool about a place like this is they have that like hometown placemat where they have advertisements from all different businesses, including their own right in the center. In there it says, where you're treated like royalty. I have to say the staff here, the guy who runs the place and his wife, both times that we came, they've been super nice to me, accommodating, they're allowing me to film. I love supporting businesses like this because when you see what they're doing and you see their passion and they're so forthcoming and customer service oriented, it is such a great experience. For a place legendary like this, they don't have to be. They could just sit on their laurels and say, we've been in business since 1947, we could be total jerks to you and not even bother with it. Just customer service here is so great, I just have to point that out. All right, let's get nuts. Under their steak burgers, there's about a dozen options, and one is more ridiculous than the next. But the steak burger that I gravitated toward is the Jethro. YOLO. YOLO, man, YOLO. By this time, the restaurant was mobbed. Apparently that Dave Portnoy visit got around social media, and people were making the pilgrimage. All right, now the one that I saved for last. Now I've heard all about the legend of these burgers that are made on grilled cheeses and these subs that have like chicken tenders and mozzarella sticks inside of them, but I've never had anything that crazy, so this may very well be the craziest burger I've ever tried in my entire life. And I don't know if there's any good way to do this, but here goes nothing. It's so big. I asked for the burger medium and it's cooked nice and perfect. Let's go in for another bite and see where we get with all these vegetables they put on there. When I tell you it's exactly what it sounds like, you got the American cheese inside of the grilled cheeses, then you got your burger and fried egg. One thing that's must try at Morrette's is their sauces. So they have a homemade fry sauce, which is like kind of like a Big Mac sauce, and we've already tried the steak sauce. So with this silly burger, we gotta try the fry sauce. It's essentially like your In-N-Out sauce. It's got a little bit of tanginess from mustard. You got a little bit of like mayonnaise creaminess. Definitely some kind of relish or pickle in there. So good. This is like one of those things that's a once in a lifetime. It is so good. I hate that it's a once in a lifetime thing. We have other stuff here that we've tried, and I gotta get across that menu at some point too. There's just too much to try here. I'm gonna see if I can get a little more from Rachel or Max just to see what they have to say about what they're doing here at Morrette's and kind of how they serve the community.
Here at Morrette's Steakhouse, we grind our own burgers and grind our own sausage. We're known for our steak sandwiches, but we have other great options, as Jerry notes here. A couple good items that he got, like the Jethro and the sausage. But now this is the second time Jerry's had a steak sandwich. He's got to come back, put it all together, and either eat 2, 3, or 4 to put himself on the wall. Jerry, I challenge you to come back to Morrette's and get this challenge done.
What do you guys think? Should I try to get on that wall? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see me highlight more venerable places in my area like this, hit a like on this video, and we're trying to catch up to Emerald Lagasse and subscribers here on YouTube, so make sure you hit that button and you can check out all the new videos as they're published. But I know what you're wondering is, how does Morrette's steak sandwich compare to a Philly cheesesteak? And I've reviewed a handful of Philly cheesesteaks by now. You can click into this playlist right here and you can see more about my Philly cheesesteak adventures.